Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Boys Are Back in Town podcast. My name is Dustin. I'm here with my co-host.
Hey guys, it's Brett.
So if you guys are new around here, we just hit 200 subs. That's huge. I think we're up to like 214 now. Love you guys. Thank you for that. That's awesome. So we're going to start with our fantasy football starts and sits of the week. Then we're going to get into our plays of the week. And then we're going to hit our game picks and the weekly recap. So, do you want to start with our starts?
So after making me look silly over the last 2 weeks, I've said to sit Matt Stafford. That is playing the two hardest defenses in the league, the Ravens and the Browns. Well, he's scored 22 and 23 fantasy points against them, so it's time for me to hop on the Stafford train when he's playing the Commanders, who allow the second most fantasy points per game to quarterbacks. And he's also scored 22-plus fantasy points and had 3 or more passing touchdowns in 3 games straight. So with the healthy Kupp and Nacua, and then the help of the running game, I think Stafford could have another great day.
Yeah, I sure hope so. I need Puka to have a monster week this week. So this is the first week of fantasy playoffs. Congrats if you made it. Good job. Welcome. If you didn't make it, go ahead and stick around. Try to win your consolations. Sometimes there's draft prizes. And sometimes they're just not taking last in your league so you can avoid the league punishment.
Yes,
so,
sir.
it still matters.
All
matters if you're not in playoffs. So, it's bragging rights. You don't want to be the last of your friend group. Don't give up yet. So, my start this week, I'm taking a risk because I have to start him. I'm going with Russell Wilson. So, Russell Wilson against the Chargers defense put up 2 touchdowns in like 220-something yards. He did throw a pick, but he is playing Detroit. And Detroit gives up the 4th most points to quarterbacks in the entire league. So I think Russ and this team that is 1 win out of the AFC West, they can overtake the Chiefs if the Chiefs happen to lose. I kind of think that this team's fired up and they might get something going. Maybe Russ gets back on the streak where he scores it on the ground. He has 2 rushing TDs in the last 3 weeks. So maybe he'll do something for me this week.
Yeah, the Broncos are only 4-point dogs to the Lions, so I really think that's something that could really happen. And is this at Detroit?
Yes.
Okay. Jared Goff plays a lot better at home. But
yeah, I don't care if they win.
Yeah.
I think he has a good week.
Yeah, Russ has been on fire. He was my start last week. I don't know if he ended up doing well points-wise, but I do like Russ.
Yeah, like I said, he had a decent week. I don't think he did amazing, but he had a decent week. 16 points.
Love that Russ is doing good again. My next start is DeAndre Swift. Been a sit the last couple weeks playing some tough defenses. Seattle is allowing the 5th most fantasy points per game to running backs. And Seattle has also allowed 5 of its last 6 RB1s that they played to put up 17 or more fantasy points. Now, granted, 2 of those were Christian McCaffrey and 1 was Tony Pollard, but there were some other ones in there that have done really well as well. And after not being able to get the run game going, the Eagles will look to get back to what they do best and give Swift a massive workload and probably just absolute shit on the Seahawks to prove that they're still a decent team.
Yeah, still prove that they're a top team in the NFC.
Yeah,
I definitely
they did not look good.
No. They've looked horrible the past 2 weeks. But, I think they get back on track. I also started Swift this week. I feel like it's time to move him back into his spot on my flex that he just didn't leave for a solid 6 weeks, and then he started playing like shit. So I think he comes back this week, and I hope so. My start this week, most of the time you're probably going to think this is a dub, but with him being in a committee backfield, it's kind of like been week to week for me personally. I'm starting David Montgomery. So David Montgomery was on a streak of scoring a touchdown in like the last, he scored 4 touchdowns in the last 5 games. He had a pretty bad week. He only had 10 points against his former team in the Chicago Bears, and I think that's mainly because they just know him. It's like they just know David Montgomery. So, I mean, it's kind of just because he was over there last year. He comes over and he doesn't have a monster day. He did have 66 yards on 10 rushes, which is pretty solid if they just give him a little more volume. But he is playing Denver, and Denver gives up the most points to running backs in the entire league. I love this matchup, and I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So,
yes, surprisingly, I took the over on the 70 plus on Montgomery's rushing because he should have just absolutely rushed on them really bad. But they ended up giving Gibbs the ball to run a lot more. He had a really good day on the ground. So hopefully they get back to Montgomery this week and kind of beat them. But my next start's going to be Tyler Lockett. Eagles allow the most fantasy points per game to wide receivers, and Lockett had his best game since week 10 last week with Drew Lock at quarterback. So whether Lock or Geno gets the start, I think Lockett is set to do really well against the Eagles, who just always end up in shootouts, which could happen like the Dallas-Seattle game.
Yeah, I'm worried that Philly might be able to get it going because the DBs have been catching so much hate all over. I'm sure they're putting up all that bulletin board material because they are the worst. They're the worst two wide receivers in the entire league right now. So, I agree. I think Lockett might have a good day. My start, fresh off IR, rookie quarterback. Is it a rookie? Easton Stick, rookie?
Mm-hmm. No,
quarterback.
Not rookie.
Sophomore quarterback. I know he's a young guy. Yeah, whatever he is, I don't give a fuck. I think he's going to have a great day. Joshua Palmer. Fresh off IR. Keenan Allen will miss this week.
Yep.
I think Joshua, they're still searching for somebody to fill in that wide receiver 1 role. Mike Williams goes down. Keenan Allen goes down. Now, who is it? It's going to be Joshua Palmer. It sure as shit isn't going to be Quentin Johnston. And I think the Raiders are a decent matchup. I didn't get to see how good they are to wide receivers. But before Palmer went down, he had weeks where he would put up October 22nd, 5 receptions, 33 yards. Yeah, it's 4 receptions, 60 yards, 3 receptions, 77 yards. If he gets the workload that he's the wide receiver 1, that cat's fast. I think he burns everybody on that Raiders defense.
Yeah, no, I considered doing that just because Keenan Allen wasn't going to play. But I really I don't trust Easton Stick very much. And the Raiders defense has been a little tougher than they used to be with Pierce becoming, the head coach.
Yeah.
So I guess we kind of half-assed talked about this earlier, but we ended up with the same tight end sit. Chigozie Okonkwo. And I know this
same tight end start.
Start, yeah.
Yeah.
This is an off-the-wall start. And I was just going to say only needed in bad circumstances. Like, this is not a guy that you want to start over the top 12 to 13 tight ends. But he hasn't had the Texans allow the 5th most fantasy points per game to tight ends. And over the last 3 weeks, Okonkwo has had at least 5 targets and 45 yards in each game. So Will Levis really starting to move the ball really well. So I like Okonkwo as needed.
He's going to be a great spot start. I know there's a lot of, I'm probably going to have to find a tight end if Dalton Kincaid doesn't play. There's a lot of guys. Tyler Higbee is questionable. There's a lot of guys questionable right now, just mainly because it's week 15. Everybody's kind of beat up and hurt. But obviously, if you're playing this week and you don't have a first-round bye, there's a good chance you don't have one of those blue-chip tight ends. So I think this is a great start. And like you said, the volume is there. And he's playing against a Houston defense without C.J. Stroud. They're probably going to be on the field a whole lot, and Will Levis is going to be able to move. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, because if you were relying on a guy like Taysom Hill there for a while, and now he's been out, so yeah, I like it. I like it too. That was fine. You want to start us with our sits?
Yeah, so I'm going to start out with Trevor Lawrence. So Trevor Lawrence, I don't know why they rushed him back so quick. I really don't. I just don't see a reason why. I guess to fight for the number 1 seed. But I just don't see him having a good week this week against Baltimore, the 31st hardest team to score against quarterbacks. I don't know how to say that correctly. The 31st best team, the second best team against quarterbacks, whatever you want to say it. It's going to be a really tough matchup for him, and I just don't see him getting it going.
Yeah, I was surprised when he come back last week. I was like, oh, he's going to have a terrible week. And I said to sit him the week before, and he scored 2 rushing touchdowns and made me look silly. And then last week, he still put up 21 fantasy points. So hopefully this week, maybe we'll get it right. But I've said to sit this guy before. We're going to sit him again. Tua. The Jets allow the second least amount of fantasy points per game to quarterbacks, and the Dolphins cannot seem to move the ball very well without Tyreek Hill. and he might miss this game because he didn't practice today, and he came back and was still in pain last week when he came back in the fourth quarter. And the Dolphins played the Jets in Week 12, and Tua was bad. He only had like 9 fantasy points and like 2 interceptions. So
yeah, that was the time I said to sit him too, and I nailed it.
Yeah, he also hasn't scored more than 20 fantasy points in a game since Week 8. So really just relying on Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and if Tyreek Hill doesn't play, then I think it's going to be Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert and maybe even some Jeff Wilson in there. Those all might be startable, and then Jeff Wilson may be a flex-worthy guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like on, Monday night against the Titans, it was the Raheem Mostert show. So Tua really got carried, and then they still lost. So, I mean, without Tyreek, we're really seeing what's happening to the system QB to a Tagovailoa. So, my running back sit, it's kind of is he going to start him? Is he going to sit him? Is he going to start him week to week? We're sitting Brian Robinson this week. He's playing against the Rams, who are the 3rd best team against running backs. This one's going to be tough. The Rams are kind of playing lights out on defense. The Ravens gave him a show. It's hard to fight with that Ravens offense, so I'll give them a pass. But the Ravens didn't really get anything going on the ground. Lamar Jackson just had an absolute day. So I think Brian Robinson's going to take the L here.
Yeah, and whether I saw he was questionable this week, so whether he plays or not, it's probably not a good idea to start him anyway.
Yeah, everybody's questionable.
My next sit, no shit. I have a team where almost everyone is questionable on my whole bench.
Everybody's got the damn Q. It doesn't matter. Everybody's fucking hurt.
My next sit, James Conner. 49ers allow the second least amount of fantasy points per game to running backs, and Conner has more healthy games under 9 fantasy points this year than he does over 9 fantasy points. So, not very good. I think that's like a total of 8 or 9 games. There's 9 games total. 5 over 9 points, 4 under, or the other way around. And when they played the Niners in Week 4, he only scored 6.6 points. So, Conner's a sit for me. I think the 49ers defense is going to bully the Cardinals.
Yeah, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of rushing in that game after the first half is over. They're going to be playing from behind, so they're going to be throwing the ball, probably a lot of picks. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Cardinals right now, but I probably need to, so the Giants can stay within a top 10 pick.
Oh, yeah.
My sit, you started his counterpart, you started his handcuff, so I'm going to go ahead and sit DK. So I really think the Philly Eagles are going to have a bounce back week. They are the worst. They're the worst to wide receivers, and they might he might torch them. He might go for 8 catches for 187 yards. It's likely. I just don't like him. If you have another option, I'd probably start him. I just really think this is the week that Philly gets it back together. The defense is going to have an intervention if they even want to think about going deep into the playoffs. Because right now, Philly's looking like Tommy DeVito might have a shot at beating them on Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, it could happen. I didn't think we could beat the Packers. It could happen. Fuck Philly. Amen.
Well, DK was going to be my start, but I thought it was too obvious that you have to start DK anyway. So that's fucking nuts. If that ends up working out for you, that's going to be crazy.
He's honestly the most inconsistent wide receiver among, if you look at his whole entire game long, he'll have an 11-point game, a 29-point game, an 8-point game, a 47-point game, an 11-point game, a 479.5-point game. It gets really, really ridiculous. And he just had a good week, so it might be time for a down week. Plus, he got ejected last week.
My next wide receiver sit, Adam Thielen. The Falcons allow the 4th least amount of fantasy points per game to wide receivers, and he hasn't had more than 16 fantasy points in a game since week 6, which I know 16's a lot, but he's only done it twice since week 6. So I wouldn't trust him in the first round of the playoffs against this tough Falcons defense that's just going to run the ball the whole game and keep the ball away from Bryce Young. So Adam Thielen's, he's getting old. Had a great start to the season. Hopefully you traded him away, like I said, 10,000 times. But if you didn't, I wouldn't start him.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the Falcons, emergence of guys like Drake London. Great week last week. Really just had his breakout week finally, and it was due time. I think they're really catching stride right now. Anything can happen over there in the NFC South, so nobody knows.
Nobody
So
knows.
we both kind of discussed not really having a tight end sit this week because everyone really is questionable. But if Tyler Higbee does end up playing, I don't love his matchup against the Commanders. So against other positions, the Commanders are really good against tight ends. They're the 24th worst hardest team. Is that yeah? What 24th hardest team against tight ends? There is a chance he doesn't play. Then at that point, we just don't have any sits at the tight end position. But I really don't like Tyler Higbee this week.
Yeah, it's hard to say to sit a tight end this week because if you feel like you need to start him, just do it. Because
Yeah, if he plays and you don't have anybody, probably go ahead and start him. But if Okonkwo's there, probably going to give you a 10 piece.
It's going to be.
He's probably good for 10. I think he's good for 10.
Yeah, it's going to be the Cup Nakua day. I could see them both going over 100 yards for the first time this year in the same game.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So so now we can get on to our plays of the week. Do you want to start? I don't have a money line. I have a prop bet for y'all today, so I'll let Brett start.
I've got a money line. It's not as controversial as our last two money lines, which we both hit, by the way. You went Packers over Chiefs. I went Patriots over Steelers, both slam dunks. I'm going the Cowboys money line versus the Bills, plus 105. I just don't. I don't know. I feel like plus 105.
I feel like you guys are a better team.
Yeah,
I do like that a lot. I haven't even got to look at that money line. Maybe because it's in Buffalo and it's cold. I'm not too sure.
Maybe.
That is a pretty even money line though. They normally give 3 points to the home team, so you guys would be 4-point favorite. What is that? Yeah, you guys would be 4-point favorites at home. So 2-point dogs on the road makes sense. It's just kind of it's one of those things where it's probably just a home field advantage. But yeah, plus 105 is great value for how good you guys are playing right now.
They're way too hot, to slow down.
You guys are playing fantastic.
The Bills
they're
coming
still
off
fighting
that
for a playoff spot. So
the Bills might feel like they came off that fraudulent win against the Chiefs because Kadarius Toney was offside.
I don't feel like that was fraudulent at all, but it did sell my my play of the week from hitting last week. So thank you, Kadarius Toney. One more time for the Giants fan. You cannot stop fucking me. I just hate you. I don't enjoy you. But yeah, man, we can move on. My play of the week, David Montgomery, anytime touchdown scorer. We're getting this at the absolute steal of minus 135. He is just an absolute workhorse when it comes to scoring a touchdown. He is almost a lock every single week. I just throw him in every parlay because it's just a little parlay booster. He always finds his way in the end zone. So yeah, David Montgomery minus 135. Book it.
Yeah, no, David Montgomery's just shoo-in for a touchdown every week. Did he score one last week?
Did not. Ooh. Missed it, but he's going to get back on track against this bad Denver defense against running backs.
Oh, yeah.
Yup. You want to hit us with our game recaps last week?
Yeah, so week 14. We both started off hot. Patriots, Bucks, Ravens, Saints, and then everything went to hell. The Bears beat the Lions. Bengals with Jake Browning beat the Colts. We both got the Browns, though. Jets beat the Texans.
You've seen that, not me.
Yeah. Fucking...
Giants beat the Packers. Titans beat the Dolphins. There's so many upsets last week. We both probably did not do well.
The fucking Bills beating the Chiefs. I mean, It was just it was a weird week.
Pretty tough week.
I finished 7-8. Probably my first negative week of the year, I think.
Yeah, you haven't had too many.
Yeah, you went 8-7. Got a game on me there. Puts me at 132-76, and you 109-99. So catching back up a little bit. Let's get into our Week 15 picks.
Here we go. Thursday night football. Here we go. I like the underdog Chargers to beat the Raiders.
Chargers to beat the Raiders.
Plus 135.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't. I'm
I
gonna
don't know
go-
how I feel about it, but I
Yeah.
really don't care who wins this game.
I don't
Doesn't
give a
im-
shit either, but
Nope,
hopefully
doesn't
it's
matter
just
to
a
me.
good, high-scoring game that we enjoy to watch, you know. But I'm going to go Raiders over Chargers because I really like how the Raiders have been playing. So
Yeah, that over-under is at 34.5. I don't think it's going to be high scoring, but it might go over that. I think it'll go over 34.5. I think at least it'll be like a 17-19 game. I mean, something, shit.
Yeah.
So Saturday we actually have a triple header, and it's a real triple header this time, not like they do on Monday nights where they just play both games at the same time. We're getting a noon game, we're getting a 3:30 game, and then a 7:15 game. So I'm super stoked for
I'm
Saturday
so
Saturday
stoked, dude.
football, dude. It's awesome.
Yes.
Like I'm gonna love this shit. So we got the Vikings versus the Bengals. So we got Nick Mullins versus Jake Browning. Who you got?
Oh, dude, Bengals all the way. Jake Browning is the GOAT.
He's a monster, man. I'm also taking Jake Browning and the Bengals. Absolutely nailed that start. I don't know what happened last week, but he's just going crazy, man. I love it. Next game, we got the Steelers versus the Colts.
I'm going to go Colts
one.
here. They got to have a
Me
bounce
too.
back game. Steelers.
I'm
are
taking the
ass.
Colts. The Steelers literally just lost to the Patriots, so I do not have high hopes in that team. Give me the Colts. Saturday night, we got the Broncos and the Lions. I know I'm going to have a little bit of cash on this one, but give me the Lions here.
I want to go Broncos, but Jared Goff plays so much better at home. I'm going to go Lions.
I'm taking Broncos money line just to put that out there, but for the game picks, I'm picking the Lions. So it could go either way, honestly. Sunday, we're going to have an NFC North matchup that will probably be lost on most people's screens. We got the Falcons and the Panthers.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised the Falcons are only 3-point favorites. I guess it's because it's in Carolina. But I'm going Falcons here. I can't.
Yeah, 100%. Give me the Falcons. This game is going to be a little rough to watch.
It's
so I
going to
just
be
won't.
massive Bijan game. Massive.
Yeah, huge. Next game, we got the New York Giants playing the Saints. Give me the Giants at plus 205. Gee, man, Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, I don't trust the Saints anymore, so I'm going to go Giants as well.
Yes, sir, we're back. This week, oh man, I actually really like this matchup. I think this one's going to be a fun one. We got Bears-Browns. Bears are underdogs.
Yeah, Bears are going to be underdogs because it's in Cleveland, and Joe Flacco looks good. Moving the ball.
Flacco looks great.
Like, I don't see the Bears beating the Browns here, so I'm going to go Browns.
I'm taking the Bears. Joe Flacco's Linsanity run is going to end at 2 weeks, and the Bears are hot, coming off a Lions victory. Give me the Bears here at plus 140. I love it. This game's going to be a little tough to watch. We got Jets-Dolphins. This one could get out of hand early, or it could be 0-0. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if Tyreek Hill's not playing, I could honestly see the Jets beating the Dolphins. But I'm going to say Dolphins
plus 330
because
could happen.
Yeah, I'm going to say Dolphins.
I'm going to just pick one against you because I want to. Give me the Jets here. Zach Wilson coming off. Robert Saleh said it was his best game as a pro. That second half, that Jets team looked like they had something going, and I really think that defense can keep her going. And they're still fighting for a playoff spot. Aaron Rodgers said that if it comes around December 24th, that he might give it a whirl. So that Jets team is going to be fighting for a lot here down the road. This game, I don't see how this is 7.5 points, but we got the Chiefs and the Patriots. Chiefs are 7.5 point favorites. Go ahead and give me that spread.
Yeah, I figure the Chiefs are going to have to pummel somebody, and why not be the shitty Patriots?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough week for the Patriots. But 7.5 points is really not that. You got to enjoy that respect, at least if you're the Patriots defense. I mean, that's pretty respectful to the Patriots for how bad they are in all seriousness. Next game, we got the Texans and the Titans.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I'm going to go Titans here.
If Stroud does not play, I am 100% on the Titans. If Stroud does play, however, give me the Texans. That's just kind of the split where it's at. If Stroud's there, the Texans going to town. Stroud's not there. Davis Mills can't get it done. So yeah. Last noon game, we got the Bucks versus the Packers. I want to know what you think on this one.
You know, I really think the Bucks could bully Jordan Love, but oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna go Bucks.
I was also going Bucks. I was wishing you picked the Packers. Packers team did not look sharp last week against the Giants. And we picked him apart. We made Jordan Love look like a little silly boy. So, we put him back at least 2 more years after the ass whooping we handed him. I think it's going to be Jordan Love's sophomore year coming out, and it's going to be a rough time. So, give me plus 145. Next game, we got the Niners versus the Cardinals. We don't need to go too deep into this. 12.5-point favorite. Give me the 49ers.
Yep, 49ers.
Yep. Next game, we got the Commanders versus the Rams. This could be a sneaky good one.
Yeah, no, for sure. Division game. But I think the Rams... Oh, no, it's not a division game. Sorry.
It's a conference game.
Yeah, conference game. Yeah, but I saw the Cardinals.
Yep.
No, I'm going Rams for sure.
Go ahead and give me the Rams, but I do like the Commanders at plus 6.5 points. That over 50 points is psycho, but I kind of like it.
The Ravens scored, I think I read it was like 30 points in the fourth quarter or 34 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's wild. Next game, we got your play of the week. We got your boys versus the Bills.
Yeah,
give me the Cowboys here.
Me too. I don't see the Bills being able to take care of business against the Cowboys.
Plus 105, that's a great money line to bet on. I love that. Give me that. Ravens Jaguars, I love how close this game is on paper. Give me the Ravens at -3. This is going to be a moneymaker, man.
Yeah, they don't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't, but I love it. Yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, Ravens for sure, yeah.
And that is on Sunday Night Football, too. Didn't even realize that was our last 3 o'clock game. But yeah, Sunday Night Football, Ravens versus Jags. Yeah, go ahead and give me the primetime Lamar Jackson. I'm on that. Then Monday night, we're probably going to have a shootout on our hands. We have the Eagles versus the Seahawks.
I'm going Eagles.
Shock the world, Drew Lock. Give me the Seahawks plus 140, 154, whatever that is. 164? Yeah. Go ahead and do one time for me. If Drew Lock plays, I don't really like the Seahawks. But yeah, shock the world one time. I haven't picked the Eagles all year. I'm not going to pick them now. So, yeah. You got anything? You want to wrap up anything?
Yeah, make sure to go check us out on TikTok and, subscribe to YouTube. It really helps, man. And check us out on Twitter. But yeah, that's all for me.
Yeah, we just hit 1,000 on Twitter. I think we just hit like 2,100 on TikTok. We're growing like crazy on those 2 platforms. If you haven't, go check them out. Help us hit 1,000 on here. That's huge. Share it with a friend. The deal. Drop a like. And that's all we got. Peace.
Yep. Peace.